As the interstellar visitor continued its journey through our solar system, the animals of Earth continued their role as teachers, showing humanity that awareness and intelligence extended far beyond human experience to encompass all life in a vast network of cosmic consciousness that connected our planet to the stars themselves. The establishment of the Global Animal Cosmic Response Database marked a turning point in how humanity understood the relationship between terrestrial life and extraterrestrial phenomena. This comprehensive repository, managed by an international consortium of research institutions, began collecting and analyzing behavioral data from millions of animals worldwide, creating the most extensive record of biological responses to cosmic events in scientific history. Dr. Thomas Anderson, director of the database project, explained the magnitude of the undertaking. We're not just documenting individual animal behaviors anymore. We're mapping the collective response of Earth's entire biosphere to the presence of an interstellar visitor. The patterns we're discovering suggest that life on our planet operates as a unified sensing system for detecting cosmic phenomena. The database revealed remarkable synchronization patterns across species and continents. When electromagnetic activity from 3i Atlas peaked, corresponding behavioral changes occurred simultaneously in animals separated by thousands of miles and multiple evolutionary lineages. The timing precision suggested that Earth's biosphere was functioning as a coordinated network for detecting and responding to cosmic signals. Advanced statistical analysis of the database revealed that animal responses followed mathematical patterns that mirrored the harmonic structures detected in 3i Atlas's electromagnetic emissions. Different species appeared to be responding to different frequency components of the alien signals, creating a biological spectrum analyzer that could decompose complex electromagnetic patterns into their constituent elements. Marine ecosystem research expanded to investigate how entire ocean food webs were being affected by animal responses to 3i Atlas. Dr. Catherine Lee, studying Pacific Ocean ecosystems from the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, documented cascading effects as changes in individual species behaviors influenced entire marine communities. Predator-prey relationships showed disruption as both hunters and hunted altered their behaviors in response to electromagnetic phenomena from the comet. Traditional feeding grounds and migration corridors became unreliable as animals followed new patterns dictated by their sensitivity to alien signals rather than historical ecological relationships. The marine research revealed that ocean currents and temperature patterns were being subtly influenced by the massive coordinated movements of marine life responding to 3i Atlas. When millions of fish, whales, and other sea creatures simultaneously altered their behaviors and locations, the collective biomass movement created measurable effects on ocean dynamics. Coral reef ecosystems showed particularly dramatic responses to the interstellar visitor. Dr. Maria Santos, studying coral behavior at the Australian Institute of Marine Science, discovered that coral polyps were displaying synchronized spawning and feeding behaviors that corresponded to electromagnetic activity cycles from 3i Atlas. The coral responses were especially significant because these organisms had not previously been known to possess electromagnetic sensing capabilities. The discovery that simple colonial organisms could detect and respond to cosmic signals suggested that electromagnetic sensitivity was an even more fundamental characteristic of life than researchers had realized. Microscopic marine life studies revealed that plankton populations were showing collective behaviors that aligned with electromagnetic phenomena from the comet. Dr. Jennifer Kim at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution documented instances of plankton forming geometric patterns and structures that mirrored the mathematical relationships detected in 3i Atlas's radio emissions. The plankton responses had significant implications for marine food webs, as these microscopic organisms form the base of most ocean ecosystems. Changes in plankton distribution and behavior patterns affected fish populations, which in turn influenced larger marine mammals and seabirds that depended on fish for food. Atmospheric research began investigating whether animal responses to 3-eye atlas might be influencing weather patterns and climate systems. The massive coordinated movements of bird populations were creating measurable effects on atmospheric circulation, while changes in forest animal behaviors were affecting vegetation patterns and carbon cycling. Dr. Robert Chen at the National Center for Atmospheric Research documented correlations between periods of intense animal activity triggered by 3-eye atlas and subsequent changes in regional weather patterns. The research suggested that biological responses to cosmic phenomena might influence Earth's climate systems in ways that had never been recognized. Soil ecosystem studies revealed that even underground life was responding to the interstellar visitor. Dr. Sarah Martinez at the Soil Biology Institute discovered that earthworms, beetles, and other soil-dwelling organisms were showing behavioral changes that correlated with electromagnetic activity from 3-eye atlas. The soil organism responses were affecting nutrient cycling, decomposition rates, and plant root interactions in ways that could influence agricultural productivity and forest ecosystem health. The discovery that electromagnetic signals from space could penetrate soil and affect underground life demonstrated the pervasive nature of cosmic influences on biological systems. Mycological research investigated how fungal networks were responding to 3-eye atlas. Dr. Patricia Williams at the Fungal Biology Research Center discovered that mycorrhizal networks connecting forest trees were showing altered communication patterns that corresponded to electromagnetic activity from the comet. The fungal network responses suggested that these underground communication systems were somehow incorporating information from cosmic electromagnetic sources. Trees connected by mycorrhizal networks began showing coordinated responses to 3-eye atlas that exceeded what could be explained by individual tree sensitivity to the alien signals. Plant physiology research expanded to investigate whether vegetation was also responding to electromagnetic phenomena from the interstellar visitor. Dr. Michael Thompson at the Plant Biology Institute documented measurable changes in plant growth rates, flowering times, and chemical production that correlated with the comet's electromagnetic activity. The plant responses were subtler than animal behaviors, but showed consistent patterns across multiple species and geographic locations. Plants appeared to be using electromagnetic signals from 3-eye atlas as environmental cues for timing reproductive and growth activities, suggesting that cosmic awareness extended even to organisms without nervous systems. Agricultural research institutions began investigating how crop plants were being affected by electromagnetic phenomena from 3-eye atlas. Farmers reported unusual growth patterns, altered harvest timing, and changes in crop quality that correlated with periods of enhanced alien signal activity. Some crops showed improved growth and yield during periods of peak electromagnetic activity from the comet, while others displayed stress responses that reduced productivity. The differential responses suggested that agricultural planning might need to account for cosmic electromagnetic conditions to optimize crop production. Genetic research investigated the molecular mechanisms underlying animal sensitivity to cosmic electromagnetic phenomena. Dr. Keith Elizabeth Roberts at the Institute for Genetic Research identified specific genes and neural pathways involved in detecting and processing electromagnetic signals from 3-eye atlas. The genetic analysis revealed that electromagnetic sensitivity involved ancient evolutionary mechanisms that had been preserved across many species lineages. The ability to detect cosmic signals appeared to be a fundamental characteristic of nervous system organization that had been maintained throughout millions of years of evolution. Comparative genomic studies showed that species with stronger responses to 3I atlas possessed enhanced versions of genes involved in magnetic field detection and electromagnetic signal processing. These genetic differences explained why some animals showed dramatic behavioral changes, while others remained relatively unaffected by the alien signals. Biotechnology companies began developing applications based on animal electromagnetic sensing capabilities. Engineers worked to create artificial sensors that could replicate biological sensitivity to cosmic phenomena for use in space weather monitoring, navigation systems, and communication technologies. The biomimetic research led to breakthroughs in understanding how biological systems achieved sensitivity levels that exceeded the capabilities of human-made instruments. Animal sensory organs utilize quantum mechanical effects and molecular-scale sensing mechanisms that were far more sophisticated than previously recognized. Pharmaceutical research investigated potential therapeutic applications of understanding animal responses to cosmic electromagnetic phenomena. Dr. Jonathan Martinez at Biopharm Research discovered that animals showing strong responses to 3I atlas also demonstrated enhanced immune system function and improved stress resistance. The connection between cosmic sensitivity and biological health suggested that electromagnetic phenomena from space might have beneficial effects on living systems when properly understood and managed. Research began investigating whether controlled exposure to specific electromagnetic frequencies could improve human health and cognitive function. Mental health research explored connections between animal sensitivity to cosmic phenomena and psychological well-being in humans. Dr. Amanda Foster at the Institute for Behavioral Psychology found that people who spent more time around animals responding to 3I atlas reported improved mood and reduced anxiety levels. The psychological benefits appeared to be related to increased connection with natural systems and cosmic processes that helped individuals feel less isolated and more integrated with the broader universe. Therapeutic programs began incorporating animal interaction and cosmic awareness activities for treating depression and anxiety disorders. Educational psychology research investigated how learning about animal responses to cosmic phenomena affected student engagement and academic performance. Schools that incorporated cosmic biology curricula reported increased interest in science, improved problem-solving skills, and enhanced environmental awareness among students. The educational benefits extended beyond academic performance to include improved empathy, cooperation, and global perspective as students learned about the interconnectedness of life on Earth with cosmic processes. New pedagogical approaches emerged that used animal cosmic sensitivity as a framework for teaching interdisciplinary science concepts. Cultural anthropology research examined how different human societies were interpreting and responding to the documented animal sensitivity to 3I atlas. Indigenous communities worldwide shared traditional knowledge about animal cosmic awareness that provided cultural context for understanding the current phenomena. The cultural research revealed that many traditional belief systems had always recognized animal sensitivity to cosmic events as natural and important for human survival. These cultural perspectives offered alternative frameworks for understanding consciousness and intelligence that complemented scientific discoveries about animal cosmic awareness. Artistic communities responded to the animal cosmic sensitivity discoveries with new forms of creative expression that attempted to represent the mathematical patterns and electromagnetic phenomena that animals were detecting. Musicians created compositions based on the harmonic ratios found in animal responses to 3I atlas, while visual artists developed techniques for representing multidimensional awareness and cosmic consciousness. The artistic interpretations helped communicate scientific discoveries to broader audiences, while also exploring the aesthetic and emotional dimensions of cosmic consciousness that purely scientific approaches could not capture. New art forms emerged that specifically focused on representing the intersection between biological awareness and cosmic phenomena. Religious and spiritual communities grappled with the implications of documented animal cosmic sensitivity for understanding consciousness, divine creation, and humanity's place in the universe. Many faith traditions found ways to incorporate the discoveries into existing theological frameworks, while others developed new spiritual practices based on cosmic consciousness and interspecies awareness. The spiritual responses ranged from viewing animal cosmic sensitivity as evidence of divine design in the universe to developing meditation practices based on electromagnetic awareness and cosmic consciousness. New forms of eco-spirituality emerged that emphasized the sacred nature of cosmic interconnectedness, demonstrated by animal responses to 3-eye atlas. As the time approached for 3-eye atlas to reach perihelion and potentially provide the strongest electromagnetic signals yet detected, preparation intensified across all sectors studying animal responses. Research institutions coordinated global monitoring efforts to capture the peak behavioral responses that were anticipated during the comet's closest approach to the Sun. The perihelion period would provide the ultimate test of the connection between animal behavior and electromagnetic phenomena from the interstellar visitor. If the correlations were real, animal responses should reach maximum intensity during the period of strongest signal activity from 3-eye atlas. Emergency response systems were prepared to manage potential disruptions to agriculture, transportation, and other sectors that depended on predictable animal behavior. The peak electromagnetic activity from 3-eye atlas might trigger animal responses strong enough to affect human economic and social systems in unprecedented ways. The comprehensive documentation of animal responses to 3-eye atlas had already transformed human understanding of consciousness, intelligence, and cosmic awareness in ways that would influence science, culture, and philosophy for generations to come. But the ultimate questions about what animals truly sensed when they detected signals from another star system remained to be answered as the cosmic drama continued to unfold across Earth's biosphere. The establishment of the Global Animal Cosmic Response Database marked a turning point in how humanity understood the relationship between terrestrial life and extraterrestrial phenomena. This comprehensive repository, managed by an international consortium of research institutions, began collecting and analyzing behavioral data from millions of animals worldwide, creating the most extensive record of biological responses to cosmic events in scientific history. Dr. Thomas Anderson, director of the database project, explained the magnitude of the undertaking. We're not just documenting individual animal behaviors anymore. We're mapping the collective response of Earth's entire biosphere to the presence of an interstellar visitor. The patterns we're discovering suggest that life on our planet operates as a unified sensing system for detecting cosmic phenomena. The database revealed remarkable synchronization patterns across species and continents. When electromagnetic activity from 3-eye atlas peaked, corresponding behavioral changes occurred simultaneously in animals separated by thousands of miles and multiple evolutionary lineages. The timing precision suggested that Earth's biosphere was functioning as a coordinated network for detecting and responding to cosmic signals. Advanced statistical analysis of the database revealed that animal responses followed mathematical patterns that mirrored the harmonic structures detected in 3-eye atlas's electromagnetic emissions. Different species appeared to be responding to different frequency components of the alien signals, creating a biological spectrum analyzer that could decompose complex electromagnetic patterns into their constituent elements. Marine ecosystem research expanded to investigate how entire ocean food webs were being affected by animal responses to 3-eye atlas. Dr. Catherine Lee, studying Pacific Ocean ecosystems from the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, documented cascading effects as changes in individual species' behaviors influenced entire marine communities. Animals are reacting to 3-eye atlas. What do they sense? Sleep documentary. Video script, 7,000 words. Something is stirring in the animal kingdom. As the interstellar visitor, 3-eye atlas, continues its approach toward our sun, wildlife across the globe has begun displaying behaviors that have left scientists baffled and concerned. From the migration routes of Arctic terns to the communication patterns of elephants, animals worldwide seem to be responding to something that human senses cannot detect. Dr. Sarah Martinez, a behavioral ecologist at the University of California, first noticed the anomaly while studying sea turtle nesting patterns along the California coast. The turtles were coming ashore 3 weeks early, she recalls, not just a few individuals, but entire populations, and they were all oriented in the same direction, toward the constellation where 3-eye atlas was visible. The phenomenon wasn't isolated to marine life. Reports began flooding in from wildlife researchers, veterinarians, and animal behaviorists around the world. In Kenya's Maasai Mara, elephants were displaying coordinated long-distance communication behaviors that seemed to mirror the mathematical patterns detected in radio emissions from the Interstellar comet. In the Amazon rainforest, jaguar territories shifted overnight as the great cats abandoned hunting grounds they had occupied for generations. Dr. James Peterson, director of the Global Animal Behavior Monitoring Network, found himself coordinating an unprecedented international research effort. We've catalogued over 847 species exhibiting behavioral changes that correlate with 3-eye atlas's approach, he explained during an emergency conference of animal behaviorists. The timing is too precise to be coincidental. These animals are responding to something associated with the comet's presence in our solar system. The behavioral changes transcended species boundaries in ways that challenged conventional understanding of animal perception. Domestic dogs in cities thousands of miles apart began howling at specific frequencies that precisely matched electromagnetic emissions detected from 3-eye atlas by radio telescopes. The vocalizations occurred simultaneously across multiple time zones, suggesting the animals were responding to a stimulus that operated independently of local environmental conditions. Veterinary clinics reported a surge in unexplained animal behaviors. Cats refused to enter rooms that faced the direction of 3-eye atlas in the night sky. Horses became agitated during specific times that corresponded exactly to the comet's visibility above the horizon. Birds kept in captivity displayed navigation behaviors despite being unable to see the sky, orienting themselves as if responding to magnetic field changes that human instruments couldn't detect. Dr. Lisa Chen at the Tokyo Institute of Animal Cognition made a disturbing discovery while studying the behavioral changes in laboratory animals. Mice, rats, and other research subjects showed measurable changes in brain activity that correlated with 3-eye atlas's position relative to Earth. Electroencephalogram readings revealed neural oscillations at frequencies that matched the radio signatures from the interstellar visitor. The animals' brains are literally resonating with emissions from 3-eye atlas, Dr. Chen reported to the International Research Consortium. We're seeing synchronized neural activity across multiple species that suggest they're detecting and responding to signals that our instruments can barely measure. The resonance patterns were most pronounced in animals with highly developed navigation and sensory capabilities. Migratory birds showed the strongest neural responses, followed by marine mammals that relied on echolocation and magnetic field detection for navigation. Even animals without obvious magnetic sensing abilities displayed measurable brain activity changes that correlated with the comet's approach. What made these findings particularly unsettling was the precision of the correlations. When radio telescopes detected increases in electromagnetic activity from 3i Atlas, corresponding spikes in animal neural activity followed within minutes. The animals weren't just responding to general cosmic phenomena, they were specifically reacting to changes in the interstellar visitor's electromagnetic signature. In Australia's Great Barrier Reef, marine biologist Dr. Michael Roberts documented unprecedented behaviours among whale populations. Humpback whales began producing vocalizations that incorporated mathematical sequences similar to those detected in 3i Atlas's radio transmissions. The whale songs included patterns based on prime numbers and harmonic ratios that had never been observed in cetacean communication. The whales are essentially singing the same mathematical language that we're detecting from the comet, Dr. Roberts explained to the marine mammal research community. They're incorporating alien mathematical concepts into their communication systems, somehow translating electromagnetic patterns into acoustic signals. The mathematical sophistication of the whale songs suggested that large-brained marine mammals might be capable of processing and interpreting complex information embedded in the electromagnetic emissions from 3i Atlas. The whales appeared to be not just detecting the signals, but understanding and responding to their informational content. Acoustic analysis of the whale songs revealed layers of mathematical complexity that increased over time as 3i Atlas approached closer to the inner solar system. Early recordings showed simple prime number sequences incorporated into traditional whale song structures. Later recordings included more sophisticated mathematical relationships, geometric progressions, and even what appeared to be attempts at reproducing the harmonic ratios detected in the comet's radio emissions. Similar patterns emerged among elephant populations in Africa and Asia. Dr. Angela Reeves, studying elephant communication at Kenya's Amboseli National Park, recorded instances of elephants producing infrasonic calls that match the timing and frequency patterns of radio pulses from the interstellar visitor. The elephants were translating electromagnetic signals into acoustic communication across distances of hundreds of miles. The elephants are acting like living radio telescopes, Dr. Reeves observed. They're detecting electromagnetic patterns from 3i Atlas and converting them into infrasonic communication that can be heard by other elephants across vast distances. They've essentially created a biological version of our radio telescope networks. The elephant communication networks showed coordination across multiple countries, with herds in Kenya responding to infrasonic calls that originated from elephants in Botswana and Zimbabwe. The communication pattern suggested that the elephants were sharing information about the approach of 3i Atlas across the entire African continent. GPS tracking of elephant movements revealed that herds were coordinating their activities across unprecedented distances. When one herd detected enhanced electromagnetic activity from 3i Atlas, they would produce infrasonic calls that were detected and responded to by elephants hundreds of miles away. The continental scale communication network operated with timing precision that matched the electromagnetic phenomena from the comet. Honeybee colonies worldwide began displaying collective behaviours that defied understanding. Entire hives abandoned their colonies simultaneously, leaving behind honey stores and developing larvae in behaviour that violated every known principle of bee social organisation. The abandoned hives showed no signs of disease, predation, or environmental stress that could explain the mass exodus. Dr. Patricia Williams, an entomologist at Cornell University, discovered that the bee departures correlated precisely with periods of enhanced electromagnetic activity from 3i Atlas. The bees are responding to electromagnetic field changes that seem to disrupt their normal navigation and communication systems, she explained. They're abandoning their hives during peak signal activity from the comet. The bee behavior was particularly concerning because honeybees are crucial pollinators for agricultural systems worldwide. The mass hive abandonments threatened food security in regions dependent on bee pollination, while also suggesting that the electromagnetic effects of 3i Atlas were strong enough to override fundamental survival instincts in social insects. Detailed analysis of the bee departures revealed patterns that corresponded to specific electromagnetic frequencies detected from 3i Atlas. The bees appeared to be most sensitive to electromagnetic activity in frequency ranges that overlapped with their normal navigation and communication systems. When the comet's signals interfered with these natural frequencies, the bees lost their ability to maintain colony coordination and organization. Wild bee populations showed different responses than domesticated honeybees. Solitary bees and bumblebees began displaying navigation behaviors that suggested they were using electromagnetic signals from 3i Atlas as supplementary guidance systems. These wild bees showed improved navigation accuracy and efficiency during periods of strong signal activity from the comet. Deep-sea creatures provided some of the most dramatic evidence of animal responses to 3i Atlas. Bioluminescent species at depths where sunlight never penetrates began surfacing during specific times that corresponded to the comet's position relative to Earth. The creatures displayed light patterns that had never been documented, creating underwater displays visible from space. Dr. Roberto Silva, a deep-sea biologist aboard the research vessel Atlantis, captured footage of luminescent jellyfish, squid, and fish creating coordinated light displays that stretched for hundreds of miles across the ocean surface. The deep-sea creatures are essentially creating biological aurora displays, he reported. They're responding to electromagnetic stimuli from 3i Atlas by producing bioluminescent patterns that mirror the mathematical structures we're detecting in the comet's radio emissions. The bioluminescent displays included geometric patterns, mathematical sequences, and harmonic relationships that suggested the deep-sea creatures were not just responding randomly to electromagnetic stimuli, but were actively processing and interpreting complex information embedded in the signals from 3i Atlas. Underwater cameras captured bioluminescent displays that included recognizable mathematical patterns such as Fibonacci sequences, prime number progressions, and geometric relationships that match the harmonic ratios detected in electromagnetic emissions from the comet. The creatures were essentially creating visual representations of alien mathematical concepts using their biological light-producing capabilities. Arctic wildlife showed particularly dramatic responses to the interstellar visitor. Polar bear populations began gathering in unprecedented numbers at specific locations that corresponded to magnetic field anomalies detected by scientific instruments. The bears displayed social behaviors that had never been observed, with normally solitary animals forming large groups that seemed to be organized around shared responses to electromagnetic phenomena. Dr. Emma Thompson, studying Arctic wildlife for the International Polar Research Consortium, documented instances of polar bears exhibiting navigation behaviors that suggested they were using electromagnetic signals from 3i Atlas to supplement their normal magnetic field sensing capabilities. The bears are essentially using the comet as an additional navigation beacon, she observed. They've incorporated an alien signal source into their natural guidance systems. Caribou and reindeer populations showed similar adaptations, altering migration routes that had been stable for thousands of years to follow paths that aligned with electromagnetic field patterns associated with 3I Atlas. The animals appeared to be using the comet's signals as a supplementary migration guide, improving their navigation accuracy during the challenging Arctic winter months. Bird migration patterns worldwide underwent dramatic changes, as species that had followed the same routes for millennia suddenly altered their flight paths. Arctic terns, known for making the longest migration in the animal kingdom, began following routes that deviated from traditional patterns to align with electromagnetic phenomena associated with 3I Atlas. Dr. Maria Gonzalez, studying bird migration at the Max Planck Institute for Ornithology, used satellite tracking to document how migratory birds were incorporating signals from the interstellar visitor into their navigation systems. The birds are treating 3I Atlas as a new celestial navigation reference, she explained. They've added an extraterrestrial signal source to their existing magnetic field and astronomical navigation toolkit. The bird navigation changes were most pronounced in species that relied heavily on magnetic field detection for long-distance migration. These birds showed the ability to distinguish between Earth's natural magnetic field and the electromagnetic effects associated with 3I Atlas, using both signal sources to improve navigation precision. Radar tracking of bird migrations revealed that flight path changes occurred within hours of detectable changes in electromagnetic activity from the comet. The birds appeared to be making real-time navigation adjustments based on varying signal strength and characteristics from 3I Atlas, demonstrating remarkable sensitivity and adaptability to alien electromagnetic phenomena. Domestic animals provided researchers with the most accessible subjects for studying behavioral responses to 3I Atlas. Pet owners worldwide reported that their animals were displaying heightened sensitivity to the comet's approach, with behaviors that ranged from anxiety and disorientation to apparent excitement and increased alertness. Dr. Rachel Kim, a veterinary behaviorist at the University of Pennsylvania, established a global database for tracking domestic animal responses to the interstellar visitor. We're seeing consistent patterns across all domestic species, she reported. Dogs, cats, horses, cattle, and even small pets like hamsters and birds are showing measurable behavioral changes that correlate with 3I Atlas's approach. Dogs showed some of the most dramatic behavioral changes, with many exhibiting heightened alertness during periods of enhanced electromagnetic activity from 3I Atlas. The dogs seemed capable of detecting and responding to signals that were imperceptible to their human companions, often displaying anticipatory behaviors hours before radio telescopes detected changes in the comet's transmission patterns. Cats displayed different but equally significant responses, often showing avoidance behaviors toward areas where electromagnetic field measurements indicated the strongest influence from 3I Atlas. The cats appeared to be using their sensitive whiskers and other specialized sensory organs to detect subtle field changes that human instruments could barely measure. Horses and other large domestic animals showed the most pronounced responses to the comet's approach. Equestrians worldwide reported that their horses became increasingly agitated during specific times that corresponded exactly to 3I Atlas's visibility in the night sky. The horses seemed capable of detecting the comet's presence even when cloud cover prevented visual observation. The agricultural implications of animal behavioral changes created concerns about food security and livestock management. Dairy cows showed decreased milk production during periods of enhanced electromagnetic activity from 3I Atlas, while poultry populations displayed reduced egg-laying rates that correlated with the comet's signal strength. Farmers reported that livestock required increased attention and management during periods of peak signal activity from the interstellar visitor. Animals that had been docile and predictable for years suddenly required modified handling procedures and environmental controls to maintain normal productivity and behavior. Aquatic animals in freshwater and marine environments showed particularly dramatic responses to the interstellar visitor. Fish populations altered their schooling behaviors, migration patterns, and feeding habits in ways that correlated with 3I Atlas's electromagnetic activity. River systems and lakes worldwide reported unusual fish behaviors that suggested aquatic animals were as sensitive to the comet's signals as their terrestrial counterparts. Dr. Jennifer Walsh, studying freshwater ecosystems at the University of Wisconsin, documented instances of fish using electromagnetic signals from 3I Atlas to improve their navigation and schooling coordination. The fish are incorporating an alien signal source into their natural sensory systems, she explained. They're using electromagnetic patterns from another star system to enhance their survival capabilities. Marine mammals showed the most sophisticated responses to 3I Atlas's signals. Dolphins and whales began displaying communication behaviors that incorporated mathematical concepts and harmonic relationships detected in the comet's radio transmissions. The marine mammals appeared capable of translating electromagnetic information into acoustic communication that could be shared with other members of their species. Ocean research stations detected instances of marine mammals producing vocalizations that contained embedded mathematical sequences identical to those found in 3I Atlas's radio signals. The whales and dolphins were essentially learning and reproducing alien mathematical concepts, demonstrating cognitive capabilities that exceeded previous understanding of marine mammal intelligence. The social implications of animals responding to extraterrestrial signals raised questions about the relationship between human civilization and the broader biological community on Earth. If animals were detecting and responding to phenomena that humans could barely measure, what did this suggest about the limitations of human sensory capabilities and technological instruments? Indigenous communities worldwide reported that traditional ecological knowledge had always recognized animals' superior sensitivity to cosmic phenomena. Elders in various cultures explained that animal behavior changes had historically served as early warning systems for cosmic events, natural disasters, and environmental changes that human senses couldn't detect until much later. The validation of traditional ecological knowledge through scientific documentation of animal responses to 3I Atlas created opportunities for collaboration between indigenous communities and scientific researchers. Traditional knowledge holders provided insights into animal behavior patterns that helped scientists interpret the biological responses to the interstellar visitor. Wildlife conservation efforts faced new challenges as protected species altered their behaviors and habitat preferences in response to 3I Atlas's approach. Conservation areas designed around traditional animal behavior patterns suddenly became inadequate as wildlife populations moved to locations that aligned with electromagnetic phenomena associated with the comet. The economic implications of animal behavioral changes extended across multiple industries that depended on predictable animal behavior. The agricultural sector faced reduced productivity and increased management costs as livestock responded to electromagnetic phenomena beyond human control. The fishing industry confronted altered fish behavior patterns that affected catch rates and fishing ground locations. Tourism industries built around wildlife observation found themselves dealing with unpredictable animal behaviors that disrupted traditional viewing and interaction opportunities. Safari operators, whale watching services, and bird watching tours required new approaches that accounted for how animal behavior was influenced by cosmic phenomena. The research into animal responses to 3I Atlas accelerated development of new technologies for detecting and measuring subtle electromagnetic phenomena. scientists working to understand how animals detected signals that human instruments could barely measure developed more sensitive detection equipment and monitoring systems. Biomimetic technologies based on animal sensory capabilities offered potential applications for improving human detection of cosmic phenomena. Engineers studied animal nervous systems and sensory organs to develop artificial sensors that could match biological sensitivity to electromagnetic field changes and other cosmic signals. The medical implications of animal sensitivity to extraterrestrial signals raised questions about whether humans might be experiencing subtle physiological responses to 3i Atlas that had not been recognized or measured. Research began investigating whether human health and behavior might be influenced by the same electromagnetic phenomena that were affecting animal populations worldwide. Sleep researchers reported changes in human sleep patterns that correlated with periods of enhanced electromagnetic activity from 3i Atlas. While the effects were subtle compared to animal responses, they suggested that human physiology might be more sensitive to cosmic phenomena than previously recognized. The psychological implications of animals responding to extraterrestrial signals challenged human assumptions about consciousness, intelligence, and sensory perception. If animals could detect and respond to phenomena that human senses and technology could barely measure, what did this suggest about the limitations of human awareness and understanding? Animal behaviorists began investigating whether the responses to 3i Atlas indicated higher levels of consciousness and cognitive capability in animals than previously recognized. The ability of various species to detect, process, and respond to complex electromagnetic phenomena suggested forms of intelligence that transcended traditional understanding of animal cognition. As 3i Atlas continued its approach toward the Sun, the intensity of animal responses increased correspondingly. Wildlife researchers documented escalating behavioral changes that suggested animals were anticipating some form of peak event associated with the comet's closest approach to our star. The correlation between animal behavior intensity and 3i Atlas's proximity to the Sun provided strong evidence that the animals were responding to measurable physical phenomena rather than random behavioral variations. The predictable escalation of responses suggested that animals possessed sophisticated mechanisms for detecting and interpreting cosmic events. International cooperation in monitoring animal responses reached unprecedented levels as researchers recognized that understanding biological sensitivity to cosmic phenomena could provide crucial insights for both animal welfare and human understanding of our place in the cosmic environment. The documentation of animal responses to 3i Atlas was creating a comprehensive database of biological sensitivity to extraterrestrial phenomena that would be invaluable for future encounters with interstellar visitors or other cosmic events that might affect Earth's biosphere. As humanity grappled with the implications of animals responding to signals from another star system, the broader questions emerged about consciousness, intelligence, and awareness that transcended species boundaries. The animals were teaching us that sensitivity to cosmic phenomena might be a fundamental characteristic of biological consciousness rather than a unique human capability. The strange responses of Earth's animals to 3i Atlas had revealed that our planet's biosphere was far more sensitive and connected to cosmic phenomena than humans had ever imagined. In their own way, animals were participating in a cosmic conversation that humans were only beginning to understand. Perhaps most remarkably, the animals were demonstrating that intelligence and awareness existed at levels and in forms that human science was only beginning to appreciate. They were our early warning system, our cosmic sensors, and our teachers in understanding what it meant to be truly aware of our place in the universe. The mystery of what animals sensed when 3i Atlas approached would continue to unfold as the interstellar visitor completed its journey through our solar system. But already, the animals had taught us that consciousness and cosmic awareness extended far beyond human experience, connecting all life on Earth to the vast intelligence of the universe itself. The scientific community began developing new research methodologies specifically designed to study animal responses to cosmic phenomena. Traditional behavioral observation techniques proved inadequate for documenting the subtle but significant changes that animals were displaying in response to 3i Atlas. Researchers needed new approaches that could capture the electromagnetic sensitivity and cognitive complexity that animals were demonstrating. Dr. Amanda Foster at the University of Oxford established the Institute for Cosmic Animal Behaviour, dedicated to developing standardized protocols for studying how animals respond to extraterrestrial phenomena. The Institute brought together experts from diverse fields, including animal behaviour, neuroscience, electromagnetic physics, and space science to create interdisciplinary research approaches. The Institute's first major project involved developing a global network of animal behaviour monitoring stations equipped with electromagnetic field sensors, infrared cameras, acoustic recording equipment, and neural activity monitors. These stations were deployed at locations worldwide to provide continuous monitoring of animal responses to cosmic events. The monitoring network revealed patterns in animal behaviour that had been impossible to detect through traditional observation methods. Animals were responding to electromagnetic phenomena from 3i Atlas with coordinated behaviours that extended across entire continents. The timing and precision of these responses suggested communication networks and sensory capabilities that exceeded previous understanding of animal intelligence. Reptile research centres documented unprecedented behaviours among snake and lizard populations that suggested these cold-blooded animals possessed electromagnetic sensing capabilities that rivaled or exceeded those of mammals and birds. Snakes began displaying thermoregulation behaviours that corresponded to electromagnetic activity cycles from 3i Atlas, using the alien signals as environmental cues for optimizing their energy management strategies. Dr. Michael Chen, studying reptile behaviour at the Australian Reptile Research Institute, discovered that monitor lizards were using electromagnetic signals from the comet to enhance their hunting accuracy and territorial navigation. The lizards appeared to be incorporating alien signal sources into their natural sensory toolkit, improving their survival capabilities through cosmic awareness. Turtle populations showed navigation behaviours that suggested they were using 3i Atlas as a supplementary reference point for long-distance migration. Sea turtles altered their oceanic navigation routes to align with electromagnetic phenomena associated with the comet, while terrestrial turtle species modified their territorial movements to correspond with alien signal variations. The reptile responses were particularly significant because these animals had previously been considered less sensitive to electromagnetic phenomena than mammals or birds. The documented responses to 3i Atlas suggested that electromagnetic sensitivity was a more fundamental characteristic of animal consciousness than researchers had recognized. Amphibian studies revealed that frogs, toads, and salamanders were displaying acoustic behaviors that incorporated mathematical patterns detected in 3i Atlas's electromagnetic emissions. Dr. Rebecca Martinez at the Tropical Amphibian Research Center documented instances of frog species producing calls that included prime number sequences and harmonic ratios matching those found in the comet's radio signals. The amphibian acoustic responses suggested that these animals were capable of translating electromagnetic information into sound patterns that could be communicated to other members of their species. Frog choruses began organizing their vocalizations around electromagnetic activity cycles from the comet, creating acoustic displays that mirrored the mathematical structures of alien signals. Salamander populations showed changes in their seasonal activity patterns that corresponded to 3I Atlas's approach trajectory. Animals that had followed consistent annual cycles for decades suddenly altered their breeding, migration, and hibernation, timing to align with electromagnetic phenomena from the interstellar visitor. Insect behavior research expanded beyond honeybees to document responses across numerous other species. Dr. Sarah Kim at the Entomological Research Institute established monitoring programs for butterflies, ants, beetles, and other insects to assess how diverse arthropod species were responding to electromagnetic phenomena from 3I Atlas. Butterfly migration patterns showed dramatic alterations as these delicate insects incorporated electromagnetic signals from the comets into their navigation systems. Monarch butterflies, known for their precise long-distance migrations, began following routes that deviated from traditional paths to align with alien signal strength variations. Ant colonies displayed collective intelligence behaviors that appeared to be enhanced by their sensitivity to electromagnetic phenomena from 3I Atlas. The ants were using the alien signals as additional environmental information for optimizing their foraging strategies, nest construction activities, and territory management decisions. Beetle populations showed changes in their flight patterns and mating behaviors that correlated with electromagnetic activity from the comet. Different beetle species displayed varying sensitivity levels, with some showing dramatic behavioral changes, while others remained relatively unaffected by the alien signals. The diversity of insect responses suggested that electromagnetic sensitivity was widespread among arthropod species, but manifested differently depending on each species' ecological niche and sensory capabilities. Social insects like ants and bees showed the most dramatic responses, possibly because their collective intelligence systems were more sensitive to electromagnetic interference and enhancement. Primate research facilities documented responses among captive ape and monkey populations that suggested our closest evolutionary relatives were also sensitive to electromagnetic phenomena from 3I Atlas. Dr. Jonathan Williams at the Primate Research Institute observed changes in social behaviors, problem-solving abilities, and communication patterns among chimpanzees, gorillas, and other primates during periods of enhanced alien signal activity. Chimpanzee troops showed increased cooperation and coordination during times when electromagnetic activity from the comets was strongest. The apes appeared to be using the alien signals as environmental cues that influenced their social organization and group decision-making processes. Gorilla families displayed changes in their daily activity patterns that corresponded to 3I Atlas's electromagnetic cycles. The great apes adjusted their feeding, resting, and travel schedules to align with periods of varying signal strength from the interstellar visitor. Orangutan individuals showed enhanced problem-solving abilities during periods of peak electromagnetic activity from the comet. Cognitive tests revealed that the apes performed better on spatial reasoning and tool use tasks when alien signals were strongest, suggesting that electromagnetic phenomena might enhance certain aspects of primate cognition. The primate responses raise profound questions about human sensitivity to cosmic phenomena. If our closest evolutionary relatives were responding to electromagnetic signals from 3I Atlas, might humans also be experiencing subtle effects that had not been recognized or measured? Medical research institutions began investigating potential human physiological responses to the electromagnetic phenomena associated with 3I Atlas. Dr. Elizabeth Roberts at Johns Hopkins Medical School established studies to monitor human brain activity, hormone levels, and other physiological indicators during periods of enhanced alien signal activity. Preliminary results suggested that humans might indeed be experiencing subtle physiological changes in response to electromagnetic phenomena from the comet. Brain imaging studies revealed minor alterations in neural activity patterns that correlated with periods of peak signal strength from 3i atlas. Sleep studies documented changes in human circadian rhythms and sleep quality that appeared to be influenced by electromagnetic activity from the interstellar visitor. While the effects were much more subtle than those observed in animals, they suggested that human physiology retained some sensitivity to cosmic electromagnetic phenomena. Psychological research investigated whether human mood, cognitive performance, and behavior might be influenced by the same electromagnetic signals that were affecting animal populations worldwide. Early findings suggested weak but measurable correlations between alien signal activity and human psychological states. The potential for human sensitivity to cosmic phenomena raised important questions about the evolutionary origins of electromagnetic perception in biological systems. Had early life forms developed sensitivity to cosmic electromagnetic signals as a survival adaptation? Were animals simply retaining and utilizing sensory capabilities that humans had lost through cultural and technological development? Evolutionary biologists began investigating the genetic and neurological basis for electromagnetic sensitivity in animals responding to 3i atlas. Dr. Patricia Chen at the Institute for Evolutionary Biology established research programs to identify the specific genes, neural pathways, and sensory organs responsible for detecting and processing electromagnetic signals from cosmic sources. The research revealed that electromagnetic sensitivity involved complex interactions between multiple biological systems, including the nervous system, endocrine system, and specialized sensory organs that had not been fully understood. Many animals possessed magnetic sensing capabilities that were far more sophisticated than previously recognized. Genetic analysis suggested that electromagnetic sensitivity was an ancient evolutionary trait that had been preserved across many species lineages. The ability to detect and respond to cosmic electromagnetic phenomena might have provided survival advantages throughout evolutionary history by enabling animals to anticipate environmental changes and navigate using cosmic reference points. The discovery that animals were naturally equipped with sophisticated cosmic sensing capabilities led to research into biomimetic technologies that could replicate biological electromagnetic detection systems. Engineers began developing artificial sensors based on animal magnetic perception organs to create more sensitive instruments for detecting cosmic phenomena. Environmental monitoring programs expanded to include animal behavior as an early warning system for cosmic events that might affect Earth's technological infrastructure. The demonstrated sensitivity of animals to electromagnetic phenomena from 3i atlas suggested that biological monitoring could provide advance notice of space weather events that might disrupt satellite communications, power grids, and other critical systems. Zoos and wildlife parks around the world became research centers for studying animal responses to cosmic phenomena in controlled environments. These facilities provided opportunities to observe a wide variety of species under standardized conditions while monitoring their responses to electromagnetic activity from 3i atlas. Zoo researchers documented that animals in captivity showed the same types of behavioral changes as their wild counterparts, confirming that the responses were related to electromagnetic phenomena rather than environmental factors specific to natural habitats. The consistency of responses across captive and wild populations provided strong evidence for the biological reality of animal sensitivity to cosmic signals. Educational programs in schools and universities began incorporating lessons about animal sensitivity to cosmic phenomena as part of expanded curricula covering astrobiology, space science, and environmental awareness. Students learned about the interconnectedness of life on Earth with cosmic processes and the important role that animals played as biological sensors for detecting extraterrestrial influences. The integration of animal behavior studies with space science created new career opportunities for students interested in interdisciplinary research combining biology, astronomy, and environmental science. Universities established new degree programs in cosmic biology and astroecology to train researchers for studying life's responses to cosmic phenomena. Agricultural research institutions developed new farming practices that took into account animal sensitivity to cosmic electromagnetic phenomena. Farmers began using animal behavior as an indicator for optimizing livestock management, crop timing, and agricultural planning based on cosmic conditions that affected biological systems. Veterinary schools expanded their curricula to include training on how cosmic phenomena could affect animal health and behavior. Veterinarians learned to recognize and treat conditions related to electromagnetic sensitivity and developed new approaches for managing animal welfare during periods of enhanced cosmic activity. The pharmaceutical industry began researching medications and treatments specifically designed to help animals cope with stress related to electromagnetic phenomena from cosmic sources. New therapeutic approaches were developed for managing anxiety and behavioral disruptions in animals that were particularly sensitive to alien signals. International wildlife conservation organizations modified their protection strategies to account for animal responses to cosmic phenomena. Conservation planning began incorporating predictions about how wildlife populations might be affected by future encounters with interstellar visitors or other cosmic events. The economic impact of animal sensitivity to cosmic phenomena extended beyond agriculture and veterinary care to affect industries ranging from tourism to entertainment. Wildlife tourism operators developed specialized programs for observing animal responses to cosmic events, while film and television productions began incorporating accurate portrayals of animal cosmic awareness into their content. Insurance companies began assessing risks related to cosmic phenomena affecting animals and agricultural systems. New insurance products were developed to protect farmers and livestock operators from losses related to electromagnetic interference from space weather events and interstellar visitors. Research funding agencies increased investment in studies of animal responses to cosmic phenomena, recognizing the importance of understanding biological sensitivity to extraterrestrial influences. Government agencies established new programs for monitoring animal behavior as part of national security and emergency preparedness initiatives. The documentation of animal responses to 3i Atlas provided a foundation for developing protocols for managing biological systems during future encounters with interstellar visitors or other cosmic events. The research established baseline information about how different species respond to electromagnetic phenomena and identified which animals could serve as the most sensitive early warning systems for cosmic activity. As 3i Atlas approached its closest point to the Sun, animal responses intensified to levels that exceeded all previous observations. Wildlife researchers documented behavior changes that suggested animals were anticipating the peak electromagnetic activity that would occur during the comet's perihelion passage. The escalating animal responses provided real-time validation that the biological sensitivity to cosmic phenomena was directly related to measurable physical effects from the interstellar visitor. The predictable intensification of behaviors as 3i Atlas approached the Sun confirmed that animals were responding to actual electromagnetic signals rather than random environmental factors. Preparation for the comet's perihelion passage included extensive planning for managing animal populations during the period of maximum electromagnetic activity. Veterinary emergency response teams were placed on standby to assist with animals that might experience severe stress during peak alien signal activity. Agricultural operations implemented special management procedures for livestock during the perihelion period, including modified feeding schedules, enhanced monitoring systems, and alternative housing arrangements to minimize stress on animals during the most intense phase of electromagnetic activity from 3I Atlas. The temporary disappearance of 3I Atlas behind the Sun would provide a crucial test of whether animal behavioral changes were indeed caused by electromagnetic phenomena from the comet. If animal behaviors returned to normal during the comet's hidden passage, it would provide definitive proof that the animals were responding specifically to signals from the interstellar visitor. Researchers prepared monitoring systems to document animal responses when 3I Atlas re-emerged from behind the Sun and resumed its electromagnetic transmissions. The re-emergence would offer another opportunity to study how animals react to the renewed presence of alien electromagnetic phenomena. The comprehensive documentation of animal responses to 3I Atlas was creating the most detailed database of biological sensitivity to extraterrestrial phenomena ever assembled. This information would be invaluable for understanding how life on Earth might be affected by future encounters with interstellar visitors and for developing protection strategies for both wild and domestic animal populations. International cooperation in monitoring animal responses reached unprecedented levels as researchers worldwide recognized that understanding biological sensitivity to cosmic phenomena was crucial for protecting Earth's biosphere and managing human civilization's relationship with the broader cosmic environment. The legacy of the 3I Atlas animal behavior studies would extend far beyond the current encounter to influence how humanity approaches conservation, agriculture, veterinary care, and our understanding of consciousness and intelligence throughout the natural world. The animals had revealed that life on Earth was far more connected to cosmic processes than anyone had previously imagined. As the interstellar visitor continued its journey through our solar system, the animals of Earth continued their role as teachers, showing humanity that awareness and intelligence extended far beyond human experience to encompass all life in a vast network of cosmic consciousness that connected our planet to the stars themselves.